Hey guys, it's me again, Nova, the edgy karate guy. Today, I'll be providing you guys my most in-depth and detailed video on Virtua Fighter, my favorite fighting game franchise. I'll be showing you guys the most important defensive techniques in Virtua Fighter. And I'll also show you guys how to optimize your defense even further and maximize your odds against your opponent's attacks. A quick disclaimer though. For this tutorial to actually help you, you must be familiar with the concept of frame data. If you're not familiar or knowledgeable about frames, it is imperative that you learn it first. Understanding frames is quintessential for every fighting game. So, without further ado, let's get it on. Before I go for the big, tasty and juicy stuff, if you're a beginner in Virtua Fighter and you're not familiar with it, we need to establish some basic concepts and understandings about Virtua Fighter core mechanics and gameplay. Throws are the fastest moves in Virtua Fighter. They have a 10 frame startup. But despite being the fastest move in the game, throws can always be beaten by strikes. As long as you have at least one frame to start an attacking animation, you will always beat throw attempts. Now, the fastest strikes in Virtua Fighter are the jab and the down jab, P and 2P respectively. They have a 12 frame startup. Now we have the quintessential universal mid-poke / check in Virtua Fighter, 6P, a 14 frames mid. Most characters have it, and when they don't, they have similar moves with a different notation that serve the same purpose. If you're familiar with the Tekken franchise, Virtua Fighter 6P is the equivalent of Tekken Down Forward 1. Now, once your mid-check is blocked, you are minus. What does this mean? It means, on paper, you lost your turn. It's time for your opponent to take action against you. I'll show you guys the outcomes of the most basic defensive options you have in Virtua Fighter. By standing guard, I block the mid-check, I take a throw attempt, and I take a low. By crouch guarding, I eat the mid-check, and I also take a throw attempt. I don't enter a crouch state fast enough to duck it in time. By evading, I do evade a linear move, but I have to take a throw attempt. Throws beat evade in Virtua Fighter. But just because you're minus doesn't necessarily mean your turn is over, right? If you decide to abate, you can indeed beat any throw attempt, and depending on the speed of the move you use to challenge your opponent with, you can still beat many of his lower options. If you abate, you get counter hit, you beat the throw attempt, and you get counter hit. The problem of abate is that you put yourself at the risk of counter hits, and counter hits in this game hurt a lot. The risk of abate leads into moderate to disastrous consequences. So, these are our basic defensive options, but they do not suffice us. We don't want to be permanently subjected to our opponent's offense, right? So, let's optimize our defense, starting with one of the most important defensive techniques in Virtua Fighter, fuzzy guard. So, how to fuzzy guard? First, you enter a crouch dash. Then, you cancel the crouch dash with guard as quickly as you can, like this. So, what is the point of fuzzy guard? The point of fuzzy guard is to simultaneously protect you from many options from your opponent. Let me show you. But wait a minute. The fact that it can't protect you from a jab or a down jab is inconsequential because a regular guard would do this alright. After all, a jab is a high and a down jab is an EX low. So, what makes Fuzzy Guard so powerful and important then? The power of Fuzzy Guard lies in the capacity of protecting you from mids and trolls simultaneously. Not only that, you have the capacity of punishing these throw attempts, while you protected yourself from the mids. You can even launch punish the fuzzied throw, but this is extremely difficult to pull off since the throw usually recovers too fast for you to launch punish after a fuzzy. And if you are so brave to the point of attempting a launch punish on a fuzzied throw, you might as well just get out of here. Now, there are things you should know about Fuzzy Guard. First, Fuzzy Guards are only effective down to -5, no further. And why is that? It's because a crouch dash enters a crouch state in 5 frames. That is the reason you can duck the throw attempt in time. Second, Fuzzy Guards are not a panacea. There are still options that will beat your Fuzzy Guard, and I'll show you them all. A Fuzzy Guard will not protect you from delayed timings. It will not protect you from lows. And it will not protect you from guard breaks. Now that you know about Fuzzy Guard, we're gonna cover another advanced defensive technique, Evade Dash Cancel Guard. The purpose of this technique is to amplify your odds of successfully evading while maintaining your safety against follow-ups or slower options. This is how you evade Dash Cancel Guard. You evade, then you cancel your evade with a dash, then you cancel your dash with guard. Now, let's see what it does for you. You evade the mid check. You also block the follow-up. But it also does more than that. Most characters have a weak side. By weak side, I mean the character in question has few options to cover that specific side, and or these limited options also have shortcomings in itself. Let's take my character, John Kujo, as an example. John's weak side is towards his back. If you evade towards his belly, he has many options to cover it. He only has one move that specifically covers his back. And all his circular moves are either highs or lows, so they can all be ducked. So let's see what Evade Dash Cancel Guard provides us when we exploit his weak side. As you can see, not even his circular can catch you, because it is low and you can block it in time. But once again, just like Fuzzy Guard, this defensive option is also not a panacea. Evade Dash Cancel Guard will not protect you from throw attempts, moves that specifically cover the side you try to evade, and of course, circular lows. These being extremely risky since they are launch punishable. So, if we take it into account, the moves that cover John's weak side are either highs or a circular low. We can use that knowledge to maximize our odds even further by combining the principles I showed you. Let's go for Evade Fuzzy Cancel. So, what does it do after all? Why put yourself through all this complicated defensive work? I'll show you why. Uh-oh, now he can't track you anymore. He's dead. Now he's extra dead. By applying this defensive technique, you nearly achieved anti-move list. But once again, evade fuzzy cancel is not a panacea. It will not protect you from throw attempts, it will also not protect you from delayed timings, and ultra slow mids that have around 30 frames startup. So you see that even the most optimized defensive technique for the situation has a counterplay to it. But this is the magic of Virtua Fighter. Everything has an answer. Every counterplay has a counterplay in the realm of possibilities. And that's it for today, guys. Now you get to know the most important defensive techniques in Virtua Fighter. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it helps you a lot in your Virtua Fighter journey. If you like my content, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That would really help me a lot. Thank you for all the kindness and support you guys give me. And we'll be seeing each other again. God bless. Ha! Say!